Guys, good evening. Deluded Goon. I hope you enjoyed your whatever you had to do for the day, whether it was work or university or whatever you had to go through. But there's no doubt, regardless of what you've been doing today, if you've been paying attention to social media or any reports, every media station is reporting it. Everybody's talking about it. We all knew it. Wenger's going to sign a new contract. I mean, he did tell us that this week would be decisive after the FA Cup. We heard they would speak on Monday, a little bit more of deliberating on Tuesday and Wednesday/Thursday, which means Wednesday tomorrow means that we're going to find out. Now, before I get into it, I will say to a degree, until I see him sign and I see the scarf and things like that, there is a part of me that still thinks he might say no. I know Tuchel is not going to come to Arsenal, but when you read between the lines, there's just something different about Arsene Wenger. I mean, it's so hard to read. I know at times I've said he's going to stay or he's going to go, but you guys know the guy is impossible to read. And there's certain language that's changed. He keeps mentioning how he was treated. Of course, we're talking about away from the criticism. He was speaking about the overzealous criticism, damn right personal stuff. He keeps mentioning we'll find out the truth one day and certain comments like that. And it does leave me think maybe you might go. But on the other hand, like I spoke about in previous videos, he's not going to leave when we're like this. I mean, we're his love child essentially in his head. So yeah, we know he's going to stay. There's nothing we can do. To a degree, it's going to be more of the same. But I will say this, a couple of things. Wenger, now is the time now. Now is the time to stop defending Deadwood. Stop carrying Deadwood. I don't want to see certain players here. They will be here, but I don't want to see certain players here next summer because they've shown, past summer, because they've shown they can't ride for you. They've shown they can't ride for the club. Quite frankly, they've shown that they're not fit enough for the shirt. Now, it was disgusting scenes in regards to Palace, etc. It's a dark day, a dark season, and we still won something. I mean, to a degree, we are spoiled as Arsenal fans. But it was a dark season in that we don't behave like that. We don't treat anybody like that. It was harsh. The players did deserve a lot of it. It affected the players, affected the fans, affected everybody connected to the club. And it needed to happen. Whatever you look at it, a lot of these players and a lot of the clubs in a comfy little bubble and things like that, so they did deserve it. Please stop carrying these guys. You're getting on. You've seen this year, you've been crucified, you've still defended them. Last year you defended them. Stop defending them. You're too old for this now to defend these guys. Hang them out in public or drop dead wood. Again, Fergie would not put up with this stuff. In regards to the last 3 years, I keep mentioning these in my videos. Sorry to sound like a broken record, but as much as Kroenke needs to leave the club, and a lot of what Kroenke's done, and behind the scenes Kroenke might have done more, but there's been significant funds available for the last 3 years. You see Alexis, you see Ozil, the funds have been there. We've chosen not to sign players. We've chosen not to be aggressive. We're chosen to have this rigid wage structure. And to a degree, we do need some sort of structure, but you need to loosen it. You look at City. We haven't got the money of City and United. And I do feel it for us, Liverpool and Spurs. 90-odd million already spent by Manchester City. You can imagine United over the next few weeks are going to announce similar signings. They're being proactive. We're playing catch-up. We do not have resources. We do not have the wage incentives. That's why we need to be proactive. We need to be proactive and say, let's just say it was us who got Bernardo Silva. We're going to get him. We're going to give him this. We're going to give him that. To a degree, you've shown that because if reports are true and this left-back that plays for Schalke does come in, allegedly he's going to come into the top 5 earners. So that does show you can do it. But yeah, to get them players, you talk about how we only need 2 or 3. To get them sort of players, you need to pay over the odds. You need to give them a bit more leeway in regards to wages. It won't happen because, again, look at the players we've got, Alexis and Ozil. We were never aggressive to make them available. Both of them forced out of their clubs. I will take players if they come forced like that. But when you keep saying that we only need 1 or 2, and every summer we hear you tried for Royce, you tried for Griezmann, you spoke to this, you spoke for that. Get it over the line. There's numerous, we're not in the Champions League, but there's a few strikers that will probably be available this summer. I'm not going to name them, but there's a certain 2 that play for Real Madrid. Make some stuff happen. A certain one that you've been linked with all the time, because you keep saying 2 or 3 signings. Sign the 2 or 3 signings. It's like you like, to a degree, constantly saying 2 or 3 signings, 2 or 3 signings. Like, in regards to the point I tried to make earlier, you are getting old. When Fergie was getting on a bit, he started to loosen the purse string, started to be a bit more adventurous. Van Persie, he went for Van Persie, he made the difference for them. We need to start doing that sort of stuff. You have 2 years. I imagine you're going to retire after them 2 years. We never know. But yeah, you've got you need to win something again. I'm sure clearly you don't want to go out on the low. I mean, no, we won the FA Cup, but let's be honest, it's not a major trophy in the sense of what we want. I know you don't want to go out on the low. So these are the things you need to do. Drop Deadwood. Stop being rigid with the wages. Be aggressive for that sort of player. Be aggressive for your targets in general. You guys know I'm not all about star players. If the scouts can do their job and they display consistency, competency, and things like that, I'm all for them. But you need to be proactive in that regard. One benefit is now we have some clarity, if we didn't already, in regards to who the manager is. Maybe certain players, certain Chileans might stay. Maybe we can agree new contracts for Ozil and Alexis. I mean, not Alexis. Well, Alexis, yeah, but I meant to say Oxlade. Question marks over Ramsey and Wilshere. I'll deal with that. Now that we know who's going to be in charge, we can kind of move slightly forward. And yeah, and stop this nonsense about, I mean, I said it already, but you're already talking up the chances of Europa League. I mean, the very fact that people constantly talk about you getting to the chance throughout Europa League shows the insignificance of the competition. I'm not knocking the competition for those that get in my comments and say, stop moaning about Europa League. What do you constantly hear in regards to Europa League? You can get in the champs. No one is actually speaking about actually winning it. So you can't talk nonsense. And for me, if you're already talking about it and it's not even August, that shows you're already just targeting back in the Champions League when we should be targeting a sustained, for them idiots out there who cannot understand English, keyword, sustained title challenge. That is what needs to happen in short. Like I said, we know Stan Kroenke needs to go. We know he's a cancer at this club and something needs to happen. It needs to go. But the last 3 years, the finances have been there. You have chosen not to spend them. You have chosen to go summers without signing players. You have chosen to believe in players that have shown time and time again that they're not down to ride. You have chosen to not fix these defensive errors and concede the same goals defensively. Of course, you've changed to 3 at the back, and maybe it gets better next season, but you can't be sure. We know it's going to be more of the same to a degree. But yeah, guys, he signed the new contract. In regards to off-field changes, there's been talk. I mean, the talk has died down. It doesn't look like we're going to get a director of football. Hopefully we can get someone that has some competence in transfers, because Dick Law doesn't know what he's doing. Wenger doesn't know what he's doing at times. Wenger clearly knows how to identify players, but clearly when it comes to getting the things over the line, like I've spoken about, it's not being done. So at this moment, in May, I was just about to say June, that's how annoyed I am. In May, can you be confident anything is going to change about this football club? No, you can't. I mean, it's a wait-and-see thing. These boys really lost me this season in the fact that, of course, I'll always support and love my club, that we're in this for life, but in the sense that there's no expectations. There's not one player bar Alexis and Xhaka/Ox that I really care about now. I mean, anyone can leave. I expect the worst from these boys. I really expect them to lose to Huddersfield. I expect them to lose to Brighton. I'm done. Like, anyone that knows me on a personal level knows the keyword again, 3 years. I've been waiting for the last 2 years. If you gave me a sustained title challenge this year, I would have been like, woo! Well, we haven't seen that. Maybe I was a year off in my calculation and we'll sit here and be in a different circumstance. But I can't be confident, boys, people. I really can't be confident about this club. It's a wait-and-see thing. We know what we need in regards to transfers. I'd love to see that. Main thing for me, the deadwood needs to go. There's too much deadwood at this club. Joel Campbell, I think he's a decent player, but clearly Wenger doesn't, so he's going to be gone. Debussy, Jenkinson, Mertesacker's technically deadwood. Great to have around the lads and stuff, but he's technically deadwood. You've got several other players. Ospina looks like he wants to leave, etc., etc. You've got several players like that, and when you consider that certain players that need to be tied down with contracts, if we sell them on, their resources can be used to actually tie down players that have a future here and things like that. And on top of that, just put the club in a more healthy position. No one likes to see players that are never going to play on their books. What kind of nonsense is that? But there's a lot to be done, guys. I'm waffling here. Deluded Guna, I'm signing out. Oh yeah. Please, I don't next year. I know you've dropped him, but please, next year, no preferential treatment to the likes of Ramsey and Theo. Everybody earns a shirt. And don't make a shirt. Stop trying to make Coquelin a pass master. Coquelele is a DM man or whatever. But guys, Deluded Guna, I'm signing now. Arsene Wenger's clearly signed the new contract. Until it's been officially confirmed, nothing set in stone. So yeah, but it looks like he signed it. And yeah, we have some sort of direction in the season that's been full of uncertainty. But yeah, guys, Deluded Guna, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Obviously, comment if you've got any opinions. Yeah, guys, I'm out. Thank you for watching. It means a lot.